So my name is Kamal Hathi. I work on the Microsoft BI product suite. I've been doing this for way too many years now. I maybe know some of you in the crowd already. I've seen in other conferences. I've been doing this for a very long time. And I am very, very happy to be here. Thank you for joining us. So what I want to do to get us going is really switch over and show you something that we've been doing with the tweets that you sent in. So I'll switch over now. And here we go. So what you see up here is a real-time dashboard that's collecting all the tweets that you're putting in, and continue to tweet if you want. It's okay to keep tweeting. And in real time, we're collecting these tweets as they're coming in, and we are aggregating them on the fly. We're running machine learning on it, and we are extracting sentiments, and we ended up showing all these tweets as they're happening on this dashboard. It's a live view. It's comprehensive. It's a single view. And for many businesses, this is exactly what they need in terms of running an operational view of how they work. And not only can I see what's going on, obviously I can go in, for example, here, and if I want to see what these tweets are, I can go in and maybe zoom in. I can see that somebody's excited. There is somebody out there who is, who's that? I don't know, someone's about session highlights on Office, congratulations to Glenn, whoever Glenn is, et cetera, et cetera. We can see these tweets are coming in real time. We can see them. But I can also go in and take any one of these tiles here and drill down into it and start to see some more details. So for example, I can see out here as this comes up, is a distribution of where all these tweets, locations they're coming from. I can start seeing things like sentiment. And we have used a machine learning algorithm that knows how to go and score these tweets to be positive or negative or neutral. And our machine is very smart. It rejects all negative sentiments, so we only have positive and neutral ones. But that's the nature of BI. I think you adjust the truth to suit your needs. Not that you would ever do that. But you get the point. And it's popping up. This thing is live. The map is lighting up. And imagine this happening in a real-world situation. It's a war room. It's a product launch. And this is what it's all about. In the new world of business, working with data, where you really want to have the pulse on your business, be able to know what's going on, what's happening in real time, extract sentiment, apply machine learning, have a holistic view of the business end to end. That is becoming a primary requirement to running a modern business. In fact, even old school manufacturing and traditional businesses are increasingly taking advantage of data, and we are seeing them turning to become data-driven services. The manufacturers who are betting on giving away their goods just based on the data they collect and getting insights from the data and selling services based upon it. We are seeing this Internet of Things and how data is flowing in from all kinds of places. There's a sensor for everything these days, right? I mean, there's sensors in shoes, there's sensors on your hands, there's sensors in the thermostat, there's sensors in your lights. Everywhere, data is just coming in. And this used to be a niche thing. Some industries did it, but everyone's doing it. You're talking about, retail goods, groceries, everywhere. Data is coming in like crazy, and the ability to do something like this in real time, have a clean view, and make decisions based upon it is becoming a prime requirement. And this is a disruption, actually. It's changing how businesses work. It's no longer something that might happen someday. It's happening now. It's happening in real time, and businesses need to adjust to it. Your businesses need to adjust to it as you go in and build your systems of the future. This is something that needs to happen, and you need the right tool sets to be able to do so. So here at Microsoft, so I work at Microsoft, obviously work in Redmond in the product engineering group that builds these products. Now, our goal really is to make it easy, dead simple, without any friction, to allow you to go and take advantage of these opportunities, to build these interesting views in a fast and easy way and be able to do so. In fact, we have partners, people like Avanade. If you go to their booth, they actually already have solutions like this available for you to adopt, ready to go out of the box immediately. And so this is the place we are in today, right? And so if you look, I'll switch back to my slides for a bit, which is number 5, I'm told. So this obviously is 2015. This is the situation we are in. The world is changing. Data is coming in like crazy. We really need this wonderful real-time view of the world and be able to adapt and do so. And Microsoft, today, the product we have in market, the one that I showed you, is something called Power BI, and we'll talk a lot about that. In today's talk, I'll walk you through an evolution of a journey from today where Power BI is, what it does, how it fits into the rest of the Microsoft stack, and how you can take advantage of it and have the same kinds of solutions that we just talked about and can adapt them for your own needs. So I want to take you through that journey. Now, for me personally, that journey started off many years ago. In fact, the year that I find a very critical year, and I think for many of you would be a critical year as well, was 1996. Anyone know what 1996 is so important? Oh, that's a good one. Not bad. Thank you. Good. The answer is analysis services came out. We're almost there. Actually, it's a day I started at Microsoft, so it's really important to me. But besides that, the other more important fact is that that's the year Al Gore invented the internet. And I think all of you should be pretty thankful for that year. But jokes aside, it is the time when we started working on, many industries started working on, really approachable BI solutions. In fact, I was working on analysis services, as somebody pointed out. It's called OLAP services that time. And it was amazing. I was a technical guy working on a technical product for a technical audience. It was IT heaven. Money was flowing like water. People were just going crazy on buying these servers. And it was a great time. In fact, it was the one highlight of the product that we built that time was that it actually has a user interface. With this beautiful user interface, fully server-driven. You had these wizards all over the place. I don't know if you recognize this or not, but those of you may have worked with it a long time ago. Yeah? And we had a command line interface and this. And life was great. And in fact, we were very, very successful with it. Over time, the OLAP product, analysis services product, it just literally rocketed through the marketplace. And many of you here came with us on that journey. I think many of you were with us on this. And it was an amazing time for us to go off and really have this technical product that really IT embraced and started to deliver BI solutions for the end users. This, in some senses, represents what we sometimes talk about as the first wave of BI. And we end up calling this the technical BI wave or the centralized or corporate BI wave. Right? This was the time when really centralized technologies were driving how BI was delivered and how it was consumed, where IT built, users consumed, and that was the relationship. Now, if you fast forward a few more years, life's going great. We did a great job, and things were really going very, very smooth. BI was spreading like crazy. Around about 2008, the world was evolving again quite a bit. There were all kinds of things happening. Again, 2008, if you remember, especially if you were in Chicago. If you were in the town of Chicago, 2008 was characterized by one thing. Guesses? It was a time where we saw the slogan pop up all over the place, which was, yes, we can. Right? This was the election time. Obama was coming in. There was this spirit going all over the place. And I think many of the business units across the enterprise started saying exactly the same thing. They said, yes, we can. And they started to bypass IT a little bit. And more we started seeing the funds and the money flowing from IT going to business units. And they started to take advantage of this and driving things on their own. In fact, you started seeing analysts, business analysts, and people who run with spreadsheets. They're pretty good with the business, but not necessarily someone who wants to go build cubes or build data models. These guys were more and more coming in and saying, we want control. We want to build out these solutions on our own. We don't want to be necessarily at the mercy, if you will, of IT. And so this is a time when the industry started evolving to delivering tools that were much more geared towards these analysts. Analysts were helping themselves, getting rich tools. And for Microsoft, this is the time we introduced this product called Power Pivot. I assume many of you use it still. Nice little tool. Very, very exciting to work on it at that time. And it turns out PowerPivot actually came up with a very good reception in the market. It's easy to forget if you go back, whatever it is, 5, 10 years ago when it came out. But this is the kind of reception we got. So eWeek, you see the little on the top, it says 2000 Product of the Year. Anybody else know, do you know which other product besides PowerPivot was eWeek's Product of the Year? There were 2 or 3 products. Any guesses, 2010? The iPad. Imagine that. PowerPivot and the iPad. Like, who would have, Now, of course, it seems kind of laughable if you look back at what the iPad is today. But, at that time, it was like, whoa, some 2 new things are coming out. And geeky publications like eWeek would have, put those 2 in a similar light. The point being, it was fairly innovative in a sense, thinking about empowering business users, analysts, people who are, really not that technical to go in and start using concepts that came out of servers and OLAP, and it was quite world-changing in some senses. And this was the second wave, if you will, of business intelligence, second wave of BI, if you think about it, that we started to talk about. And the second wave is sometimes called the self-service BI wave. And you've heard us talk about this a lot. In fact, Microsoft sometimes calls it the managed self-service BI wave, because not only do we empower analysts to go off and do things on their own, but we allowed IT to have oversight, to know what's happening. So this managed self-service BI wave is what we really enabled. And in some senses, most of the BI industry that we have today is still more or less in that place. This is where many, many products that you buy today, BI products, are. They are analyst-oriented products. They allow you to do rich visualizations and modeling, etc. But they are products for analysts. And that's the self-service BI wave. So if you look at the evolution where we've come over time and start to sort of work our way through, you can start seeing that the first wave, if you recap it, was one where IT really was driving, and IT was clicking, I suppose, but IT's clickers didn't work. Now they work. That's good. That's what happens when you do technical things. IT was driving, and IT was literally in charge and giving end users a solution. End users still depended upon IT to get the solutions from them. So this was the first technical wave of BI. But think about the self-service wave, which is still in many cases going on, and this is where most of the BI industry is. This is where analysts now took charge, if you will. They started driving. And again, the end user still is, in most cases, getting their value from the analysts. They are not able to go and do it on their own, and the analysts are the ones who are delivering value to the end users in this wave. Now, we at Microsoft, we believe that we are now entering what we call the third wave of business intelligence, a third generation, third wave, call it what you want, where things are changing substantially. And the biggest change in this wave is that it's all about the end user. It's about enabling the end users to go off and, on their own, get value out of BI. And not only do end users get value out of it, but it is value that's available to everybody. It's an inclusive wave. It's analysts, it's about the IT professional. They're all helping the end user get value, and in a complete holistic way. It's nobody's left behind. Nobody's driving the other guy. It is truly a time which is empowering for the business users to get value out of BI. Now, one of the big characteristics, the biggest characteristics that's starting this wave off, in our opinion, Microsoft's opinion, is the rise of SaaS, software as a service, right? And I'm sure everybody uses SaaS in some form or the other, whether you know it or not. This is the biggest disruption in the market, especially in enterprise software, right? If you think about it, back in 2004, I'll just use the thing directly here, I think. Back in 2004, Siebel Software, right? Everybody knows Siebel Software, right? Maybe some do, some don't. Siebel Software in 2004 was the 800-pound gorilla in the CRM, the customer relationship market. If you wanted to go to sales, management, etc., you use Siebel. That is how it was. In fact, Oracle, who we all know is a very wise and amazing company, bought Siebel for $4 billion, essentially, give or take, in terms of current cash valuation. $4 billion they bought it for. Today, when you think about CRM and customer relationship management, the name that comes to mind is not Siebel. It actually is Salesforce. Salesforce today is valued, any guesses? Come on. Siebel, $4 billion, Salesforce, $44 billion and counting. 10 times the valuation, 10 times in equivalent dollars. 10 times. In fact, Siebel is irrelevant. Salesforce is everywhere. I mean, you can see it in outside here. And that's SaaS. It's complete disruption, where something that only someone with deep pockets, installing large servers, armies of consultants could do. Today, anyone in this room can go in, sign up, and within minutes have a fully functional CRM system from Salesforce or from Dynamics CRM and others in minutes. And that is disruptive. Okay? Same thing applies to file shares, right? In fact, Microsoft, we made a lot of money. We still make a lot of money on servers that are file share servers, right? It works quite well. But today, who does file shares anymore? Most people use a SaaS service. In fact, you end up using something like OneDrive or Dropbox, right? People use Dropbox here, I'm sure. Heard of it, right? That's quite likely. Yeah, many people do that. And again, it's a huge disruption. And SaaS is a great equalizer. SaaS takes away all the barriers that exist to deploying IT, to deploying solutions. SaaS makes it instantaneous to get value, which previously was impossible to do. The one-man startup suddenly has the same exact resources that this large, gargantuan corporation used to have. No more need to go and buy hundreds of thousands of dollars of servers. No need to have armies of consultants. All you need is sometimes a phone and a credit card, and you are done. And that's the value of SaaS. Now, the one industry in the enterprise software category, enterprise software, you saw Salesforce displace Siebel, PeopleSoft, gone, we got Workday, right? Marketo, Zendesk. Every single category in enterprise software has fallen one by one like dominoes to the movement of SaaS, except BI or analytics. There is no true, dominant SaaS player. And the question is, why would that be so? Why is that so? And the answer comes from the fact that it's about business analytics or business intelligence. You need to work on data. And data it used not to be so easily accessible. It was under lock and key in proprietary systems. And so if you wanted to go off and do this, how do you get at it? It was controlled in some behind the firewall in some IT group, and you just couldn't get at it. Now it turns out the same disruption that enables you to go off and get data, sign up for Salesforce or Workday or Marketo or Zen, etc. The same exact disruption is the enabler for SaaS for BI. Suddenly data is available. You log in, you can go to Salesforce. You log in, you can go to Marketo, you can go to Zendesk. In fact, Microsoft and others are enabling you to go off and connect to your on-premises systems very, very easily. Technology has caught up where the time is ripe. The time is perfect, actually, for BI to go into SaaS. And so what I showed you in the beginning, that whole real-time dashboard that was running in the cloud, it's a SaaS service, and it's called Power BI. And Power BI is the SaaS disruptor. We believe that with Power BI, we will do exactly to BI what Salesforce did to Siebel, what Workday did to PeopleSoft, what Dropbox did to file shares, and Power BI essentially will displace the BI market in the same kind of a fashion. It's a disruptive change, one that enables anyone, and we'll show that to you in a few minutes, to go up, sign up in 5 seconds, and in 5 minutes have the results that you want. Very, very different than what you're used to doing in traditional BI systems, right? So, to take it back and recap all this whole thing, we really believe we are now entering this third wave of BI. It is a wave that is inclusive of everyone. The important thing to note was the following. Unlike where Salesforce displaces or replaces Siebel, where things like Dropbox replace file shares, BI is not in the same kind of a place. In fact, SaaS BI is not about replacing your previous investments. It's about leveraging them. It's a Russian doll model. You build one upon the other. In fact, in order to have a successful implementation of something like Power BI, being able to have a great SaaS solutions, we allow you to build upon all the investments you made. We allow you to build upon your investments in analysis services and reporting services, the technical wave that we led, and we still are leading. We allow you to build and leverage all the investments you made in Power Pivot and Power View and Excel in self-service. We leverage it. We take it on. We additively build up. And then we add to it our SaaS solution. And we have an inclusive end-to-end story that builds one upon the other. So it's a Russian doll that builds one upon the other, where the SaaS service that we deliver is fed by, it is nourished by content that's coming from our servers that are on premises, by our self-service tools that analysts are building and delivering value through, and the end result then pops out and comes through the SaaS delivery. So you get the best of both worlds. You get the value, the fast time to market of SaaS, and you get to leverage all the pieces that you've already invested in with Microsoft. Okay? So, with that backdrop set, I want to walk you through now in terms of what can you expect in the next 6 to 12 months. What can you expect from us in these three waves? How do you go off and leverage investments you made and how they all fit together? So I'll just walk that through, and then we'll have a few demos that show us what these pieces are. Okay. I'm going to go back here. This clicker is having clicker problems. So I'll just stand behind the stage a little bit and keep talking if you don't mind. Okay? So the most important thing for us is when you talk about adopting BI, it's not about saying, hey, you must use the cloud, or you must use on-premise, or you must use servers. The really important piece is it is about BI that is on your terms. You get a choice. Do you want fully on-premise? Do you want it on the cloud? Do you want to use servers, or do you want to go and have a combination of servers and self-service tools? It's your choice, and we enable you to do that. And the way we do that is empowering all the people that use our products and delivering them various capabilities as you go along. So let's talk about the IT and BI professionals and how we empower them. In fact, this is mostly, if you will, about what are we doing on-premises products, box products. We get asked this over and over again. Hey guys, thank you very much. I love this cloud thing. Looks like a great idea. What about my SQL Server investments? What are you going to do about those? Okay? So we're actually investing quite significantly in SQL Server. You will see us in the next version of SQL Server talk about many different areas where we will have new capabilities, things that actually give you value, and I'll walk you through each one of these as we go along. Okay? So the first thing to note, as I said before, is it's about choice. We provide you the notion of being hybrid. So today, I know how many of you have tried out our Power BI cloud service. If you haven't, you should give it a shot, and I will tell you in a minute how to do that, for me 5 minutes how to do that. But Power BI allows you to work in the cloud and connect directly to on-premises data. In fact, you can run your reports, your dashboard, your queries, such that they're visualized in the cloud, but all the compute, all the storage, everything takes place on premises. So you leverage all that money and time and investments you made in setting up analysis services and build your models and your MDX, all your skills that you invested in. They are directly leverageable by hooking up the cloud service so that it goes through your firewall, down to data, picks only the results it wants, and back up. You don't have to worry about security, etc. Because you already set up the governance and control on premises. Similarly, we are enabling you to go off and leverage your investments in things like Oracle, DB2, Teradata, all kinds of other file-based systems, and we allow you to just connect them up, refresh the data in the cloud, and you can work with it as you go along. So you have a choice of running your data on premises or in conjunction with the cloud in a really hybrid solution, one that allows you to get all the value of the cloud, run everything in a managed hosted environment in terms of visualizations, in terms of the dashboards, yet leveraging all the investments that you made previously in the server products of Microsoft. Okay, so that's one part. The other piece, which is, again, we get asked increasingly over and over again, is, hey, this is all nice and good. What about purely analysis services, and what's new? What can I expect to see in analysis services coming up in the next release? So, as I will go through these slides, both on analysis services and reporting services, the key point to take away, the meta point to take away, is that we at Microsoft are investing significantly in analysis services and reporting services. This is an area of big investment for us. We have a dedicated team whose only job is doing this, and we'll continue to keep updating these products. So in SQL Server, the version next that's coming out, and where we have made lots of announcements, obviously, in this conference. We'll continue to have many sessions about. You can expect to see advances in analysis services that are around modeling, around support from many to many, time intelligence, new functions that are coming up, little nitty-gritty things such as parallel partition processing. We're looking at NUMA performance, all kinds of things that have been asked, and I just have an abstract list out here. But there's a bigger session you can attend that will walk you through these things. But the point being, we are investing in making sure that there is significant value that we will deliver in analysis services, but more importantly, we will continue to do so. It's not a one-time thing. It's a continuous investment that we'll keep making. Similarly, with MoLab, we get asked a lot about, hey, what about multidimensional? Is that anything you're going to do out there? And certainly we will. The hybrid scenario I talked about will be inclusive of MoLab. So if you've made investments in MoLab, that will just work with Power BI in a hybrid environment. We're adding support for things like Netezza, some performance improvement, DBCC support. The other things that are in the works that we are still evolving. Again, net takeaway, we're investing in MoLab. It's important to us, and we'll continue to do so. Okay? Same thing with reporting services. This is a product that we've been asked over and over about. Hey guys, people say, what's the story? When can we expect something new in reporting services? It's been a long time. And I'm happy to say that we actually will be revving reporting services in a significant way in the next version of SQL Server, all the way from just making it feel more modern, better look and feel, running in new browsers, new visualizations, to other things we're looking at, for example, integrating R, the analytical language, into reporting services, and all kinds of other things. So it's an important piece for us. We're investing in it, and you should take note and make your bet on reporting services and feel good that we're going to go and leverage it. The other important thing about reporting services is a hybrid context. We will make it possible for your deployed reporting servers that you already have in your organizations to participate, to go and plug right back into the cloud service and render reports as part of that service. So again, if you so wish and want to have a solution that's running partly in the cloud and partly on premises, you will be able to go and leverage reporting services directly in the cloud as well. If you don't, there's lots of value only on premises as well. So it's an important piece of investment and one that you all should look forward to. Okay? Now, the other thing we get asked, or have been asked over and over again around BI, especially BI that's with SQL Server and on premises from Microsoft, has been this notion about mobile. Right? I mean, I think many people have asked this. I get asked again, what about mobile BI? How can I get a mobile solution that runs on iOS, runs on Android, runs on Windows, runs on a tablet, runs on a phone? How can I get that and not have to worry about getting your cloud service? My company doesn't allow clouds. I want to have a fully on-premise solution that's mobile enabled. And so for that, we actually acquired quite recently this company called DataZen. I don't know how many of you know about DataZen or not, but we announced this acquisition a few weeks ago. And DataZen is essentially that. It's a pure on-premises mobile solution. And it runs on all platforms. It runs on all form factors. And it's insanely popular. In fact, the reason we bought it was because we had users like you, customers, come and tell us, please buy this company. This is really, really good. We like it. Please get it. And we looked at it, and it made perfect sense, and we actually did get it. Now, it turns out if you happen to have software assurance from Microsoft, an enterprise edition of SQL Server, you actually get DataZen at no cost. So if you happen to have this today, you already have it. No need to buy anything. Okay? Now, the best way to see this and understand what DataZen is for me to switch over and do a quick demo that Sanjay here kindly came in and switched, because it turns out that guys who present and wear black shirts and pants like this don't know how to switch things around. So guys like Sanjay are kind enough to come and help me out. And if I make a mistake, he'll come and hold my hand and help me do the demo. So, all right, let me switch over. I think I'm capable of pressing 8. I don't have to do that even. Look at that. Right. So DataZen is a touch-friendly, touch-optimized solution. And here I have this pseudo tablet. I mean, imagine it's a laptop, but it's a touch-friendly laptop where I can touch my finger and I can tap, and it works. And this is the same Twitter information that we had before. Remember, we saw the tweets and all that. It's running in DataZen now. We captured the information, put it very quickly in a dashboard. Sanjay here did it like last night. It was very, very quick. We just did it. It's not the full data set, but gives you an idea. And the first thing, it always strikes me every time I see this thing, it's just, man, this thing is gorgeous, right? It's just a beautiful interface. The colors, it just pops. It's well laid out. And it just looks great. And it's not just looks great, it's highly functional. I go in and touch a point in timeline, it immediately adjusts. I can go and see what's going on, and I can adjust the timeline. I mean, the whole thing is highly responsive, highly touch-friendly. I can drill in, I can look at things, and I can do really deep analysis very, very quickly with my tablet, with my touch-centric device. And it's dead easy to use. It's not just that it's simple to go touch and move around and scroll and look at different data points and do those kinds of things. But I can actually go in and start to customize it very easily. So for example, if I wanted to go in and start to do different things with it, I can go and do things such as apply branding, right? Right now it's called DataZen White or whatever. I have different drop-downs. I can pick all kinds of things. But I can skin DataZen to look exactly as I want to. So if I happen to be a soft drink manufacturer who likes red cans, I would have a display of the dashboard that's completely red, and with my logo and all that. If I am a manufacturer who likes blue cans and that kind of a drink, I can skin the entire experience to be totally look and feel of my company and my brand and my theme, my logo. And it's as easy as going in, installing a few files and picking the right theme and switching over. It's that simple. It's very, very easy to do. Anyway, I can do that. Not only that, but many times after I'm done with this, and I can look at various kinds of dashboards that I have and go back to this one here. Maybe I like this, but I get asked saying, hey, what if I want to deliver the same dashboard, but I want to see it in a phone form factor, not broad, but narrow like a phone. How do I do that? Again, very, very simple. Scroll up. I go in and say, create a new dashboard, build on an existing one. I pick the Twitter one that I've got. And here's the layout that I've got. And I can decide saying, hey, I don't want this layout. I actually want to have a phone layout. And I get a phone layout. And as simple as that, I can say, look, I'll take maybe this guy here. And I will try and hopefully drag him over, keep him there. I can resize him maybe like that. I like that, maybe like the map. And I can put the map here and resize the map to be like this maybe, right? And maybe I want to have this little guy here and pick him up and put him on this side here. And I can say like this and resize him like that. And maybe I want some other tile here. I can take this and pick him up and put him here and resize that. And just like that, I have a fully functional built phone interface, and I can run it. and immediately I get a functional phone environment. As simple as that. Right? By the way, it's okay to clap. We like that. But as simple as that. It's like that, right? Now, it's not just easy, but it's also sophisticated. If I want to go in and change some of the dashboard settings, for example, the data, I can go and look at my data, where it's coming from. I can have different sources and tabs. I can go and add new data, for example. If I do that, I have a choice. Local Excel file, that's easy, but I can connect to things like SharePoint and SQL Server and OLAP cubes and all kinds of other things. In fact, we have partners, again, like Avanade, who've done all kinds of extensions to connect to DataZen, and they actually are a big user of DataZen. You can go to their booth maybe and get a great set of demos there as well. But it's a sophisticated system. And it runs based on a server, and that server now is part of SQL Server. Think about it as being SQL Server Mobile BI. Is a mobile BI server now part of SQL Server that you can get, that you can use, and you can set up a sophisticated mobile solution running entirely on premises thanks to DataZen. It's one of the best money we've ever spent, I think. Very, very good stuff. All right, let me cancel out of this. Done with DataZen. I'm going to switch back to my slides. And again, even I can do that, I'm told. That's good. Right? So, let's talk now to did the demo. So that's good. Let's talk about the notion of analysts and empowering analysts and what we are doing there. So this was all about server side, creating reporting services, analysis services, a hybrid server solution, having a mobile server that can deploy and deliver all kinds of wonderful, beautiful, multi-platform mobile artifacts. Let's talk about the analysts. Let's talk about self-service and what we're doing there. Certainly, Excel is a huge thing for us. If you go to various sessions that we're having, you'll see all kinds of progress that we've made in Excel. It's a wonderful thing. We continue to invest like crazy. I mean, everybody uses Excel, right? I mean, I'm sure. Use Excel? Yes, I'm sure you do, right? Yeah, hey, huh. That's like almost you should have asked who doesn't use Excel. It's the reverse that you ask. In fact, we sometimes say the following, which is the third most used button in any BI tool is export to Excel, right? 1 and 2 are copy and paste, right? And that's the case. Every vendor supports Excel, and of course we own Excel, so that's an amazing thing for us. However, there are many times, and we've been told this, where users feel the need to have a more focused BI solution. Excel is rich; it's a Swiss Army knife. So all kinds of things in it. The knife has got a corkscrew opener and a bottle opener and a USB key and a flashlight, and all you want is a knife sometimes. For that focus solution, when you want just a focus solution, which many times you have asked us for, and many of you actually end up buying competitive products in addition to Excel. You use Excel. In addition to Excel, you end up buying some third-party products, names starting with P and Q and those kinds of things. You want something that allows you to just sit down, do data exploration, visualizations very, very simply in a standalone focused way. For those kinds of situations, we're actually introducing this thing called the Power BI Designer. The Power BI Designer is a data exploration tool, a visual exploration tool. It is free, will always be free. Right? So, in fact, you can go today, and I will show you, go to powerbi.com. There's a download section. You can download Designer and use it, up and running you. It's a new product, so it's evolving very, very fast. In fact, if you tried it out in December to try it out today, it's already a huge difference. If you try it out 2 months from now, it'll be even better, right? It's every month, relentlessly, we keep updating new features all the time. And it combines all the goodness of our Power Query, Power View, Power Pivot, the different tools that you might be familiar with into one focused environment where you can just sit down and do BI, do visual explorations. And once you're done, just publish it off to the Power BI service, and you can have a shared environment that the rest of the users in the organization can easily see. Now, best way to understand and see this, to see it in action. So I'll have Sanjay, my friend who came over and was making sure I hit the right buttons, will do a demo now of the Power BI Designer. And I will make sure he does it that I can watch him for a bit now and make sure he doesn't screw up, and we'll do that. So you need to switch screens, Sanjay, because right now the PowerPoint's up.
Okay, cool.
All right. See?
All right, here we go.
And number 8.
Thank you.
Good job. Right. All right, so Sanjay tells me he can do this demo in
9 minutes.
9 minutes. I say he needs 8 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
What do you think? He's a captain, not a carpenter, you know. So,
it.
Scotty, can you do it?
All right, so thank you,
No
Kamal,
Scottish accents. Come on, man.
Thank you, Kamal, for this opportunity.
Go for it.
So, folks, did you like the real-time Twitter dashboard demo? Do you like it? Oh, yeah? All right. So now, what happens in that demo is when you tweet, the tweet goes through Azure Machine Learning, sentiment gets calculated. After that, this gets processed in real time using Azure Stream Analytics, then gets saved into HD Insight Azure Blob Storage. When it gets saved as a JSON document, here is how it looks like. Looks good? Now what if?
Garbage.
What if we could convert this into a dashboard in next 9 minutes? Yes?
No, we said 7 minutes. Yeah.
Let's see. 8. Okay, let's try this now. So I'm going to close this thing. So we're going to launch this amazing new tool we call Power BI Designer, as Kamal said, visualization and exploration tool.
Yeah.
And here you have lots of good options. You can get data from all kinds of data sources. Of course, databases, other newer data sources, for example, you know.
So this seems like similar to Power Query in some ways.
Yeah, it's similar to Power Query.
Okay.
Especially how many people have used Power Query? So imagine Power Query, Power View, and Power Pivot, all nicely, you know, in this one tool right here. So what I'm going to do is go to Azure HD Insight, connect to this particular location I have, and here is basically the storage name, if you would. So now this data, tweets, remember, tweets are in HD Insight Azure Blob Storage. And here we go, we start right there, and it's going to remember the password that I had. This is the social storage overall blob. Here's the container called Power BI Tweets, in which I have these blobs, tweets and tweets too. So I'm going to simply load this data.
Okay.
So I think my time started at 7:43.
No. Hey, so keep running. I think you need to pedal faster. Okay.
All right. Let's see this, folks. So now you see this query tab right there. In this query, we have these files. So I'm going to click on this blob, the binary, tweets2.json.
Okay.
This is the JSON document you saw before, right? Right now I'm doing it live, of course. Live is more fun, you know.
Was it connecting to HD Insight? Oh, it got back, okay.
Absolutely. And then you convert this to table. By the way, as you may notice, whatever I'm doing on the left-hand side, it's being, you know, applied, steps are being applied on the right-hand side. Click OK. And all steps are being documented here, right? There's even a code behind the scenes, right? Or a script actually behind the scenes. So there we go. Now I'm going to expand this. Use original column name as prefix. I don't want that. And voila. What do you think so far? Like it so far, right? Within 2 minutes. Now it gets better over time. So what I'm going to do is you right click on time here and you can do simple transformations. My favorite, like, hey, I'm just going to change this type to be date or time. Very easy thing to do. We can go on and on. But now this was a Power Query experience. How about we create the data model right now and create a Power View report? Right? So once I click on this report, now you are looking at this right then instantly available for you as a data model. So what I'm going to do is create a simple report with sentiment. Look at this, count of sentiments, right? How many positive versus neutral tweets we had. I'm going to actually, you know, just for fun's sake, convert this. Look at this. The visualizations we have available, so you can choose anything. In this case, I'm going to go from a chart to table. Never done before, huh? So, but you know, it's good to have text, right? So in terms of tweets, what people have tweeted right there. And then the third thing I'm going to do very quickly here is look at the topics. You all tweeted, right? MS Ignite, Power BI, and all this good stuff right there. And I'm going to simply also convert this visualization into a tree map, my favorite new one. And I think we can add some city to it, right? Come on.
Go for it.
Something like this. And by the way, you can always rename right here. Rename this thing here. You can even create DAX expressions now. Actually, Casper has an excellent session this week. You can create new measures, good stuff. Let's go to filters. You can always do filters.
All of these things are happening in one place. So you did the queries, Power Query, you switched to the visualization, you can do modeling. All of this happens in one quick loop here instead of going to different tabs in Excel or hunting for different add-ins. Everything happens simultaneously in one place,
Yep.
and it's a one-stop shop. That's pretty cool.
So now what I can
Yeah.
do is save this file and pretty much done.
Okay.
So I have created, so look at that. In few minutes, I was able to connect to this data source SD Insight. I was able to use Power Query, Power Query, Power View, all that experience in this one tool. I have this one file. Now, the next step, if I can have 2 more minutes.
Well, hey, how many? Go ahead. I mean,
How many? 7:43 I started, I think 2 more minutes remaining. So what I can do here is, by the way, remember that was a file which got saved to my machine as a desktop file. But now in Power BI service, if you were right here, I have pre-created a dashboard called Twitter Dashboard.
Okay.
Just to save time, you know, we have even uploaded this thing. So I'm just going to open this file one more time here. There we go. Look at this. I'm really going to the service here. And what I'm going to do here is go to this Twitter Dashboard. There we are. Here's the file. So what I'm going to do now is create a dashboard in the next 2 minutes. Remember, the file had all kinds of things we created, right? So pin to the dashboard, pin to the dashboard. The next one is going to be pin. Look how simple it is to create these visualizations here. Simply pinning these to the dashboard. And on the left-hand side.
yeah.
And I'm done with this thing.
It's okay. You can go back.
And let's go back. And what we'll see here
There's a nice accordion on top. Yeah. It's going to go do something. Oh.
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. So this is just my IE issue. Here we go. Look at that. We have that. It's still good. Now, just to have my last 1 minute, last 30 seconds, folks. Look at this. We can do all this good stuff, but guess what? The Power BI file is a model uploaded to the dashboard. How about a newer way of creating a dashboard? Just by asking questions. Show count of text. Come on, I can do this. Comma city, comma topic as tree map. What do you think? Come on, that's a new way of creating BI. I mean, really, truly, Microsoft BI rocks. I've been associated with Microsoft BI for 15 years, and this is the time I feel so good. See you there.
All right. Thanks, Sanjay.
Thank you. Cheers.
And that's an example of an analyst creating content and really distributing it out to the rest of the constituency. And we'll, in a minute or two, look at how an end user might do it themselves, right? But more quick things to add here. So I mentioned before that we are constantly evolving what we're doing with the designer. Every month it updates. And it's getting newer and newer and newer and newer. And I see things that I really don't have. I'm not able to show you working code here. But I couldn't resist. I just could not resist giving you a glimpse of what the designer will look like in a very, very short few weeks from now. And so you can see it's going to evolve. It's going to look nice. It looks more beautiful. Skin to be the black theme. And it'll be something nice that you can look at, OK? So anyway, that's what you can expect to see in the future. And this thing is going to be really, really nice. Okay, now, with that said, let's talk about business users and how we can go and get them going and empower them. And the best way to talk about this really is in terms of understanding this whole SaaS disruption we talked about, the fact that we enable end users to come in and really quickly get signed up and get going. So what I want to do is I want to switch over and actually talk you through via a demo and show you the Power BI SaaS service and what it takes to sign up and get going with it, okay? So let me switch over again, back to number 8. And I hope that Internet Explorer will not crash on me. I had asked these guys to use Chrome, but I was told that's not a good idea. It's just, it actually works pretty good. Safari, I draw the line. Okay. So the way it works is very simple. To get started with Power BI is you go to powerbi.com. Kind of makes sense, right? Go to powerbi.com, and literally you get this thing says, enter your email address. We require you to enter your work email address, so something at Microsoft.com for me, for example, or someone would be at Boeing.com or Walmart.com or Contoso. So not personal, not a Hotmail, Gmail address, but it's a business address because it's an enterprise solution. Go in, type your address, and literally within very, very short time, we hydrate a full dashboard, up and running environment similar to what I showed before. And you end up actually end up in a sample, which is not this one, but you end up in a retail sample that you usually see in something like this. Now, in order to get going, and I actually need help from my friends to log in. If I do, I'll ask Patrick to help me, and we'll do that. So the way this works is the following. I can go and connect to any kinds of data sources. And I can connect to, you can see out here, let me actually zoom in a bit. You can see all these different things. I can connect to Visual Studio, GitHub, for the guys of you who are more technically inclined and like those kinds of things, Marketo, Dynamics CRM, Salesforce, SendGrid, Zendesk, and the list is quite comprehensive already. All kinds of connectors, we'll talk about that in a minute. And all it takes to connect is to go click on that particular environment and connect. And what happens when I connect is I'm asked for my credentials, and I will need, in this case, Patrick here is going to do it. Pardon me?
He switched windows on you.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it.
That's what happens. Now you've got to switch windows on me. Okay, go for that. Yeah. Anyway, he put his credentials in. I should have maybe done before, but go ahead. Net, he's going to log in to a real Salesforce account. And most users would do the same thing. They would go in and they get this two-factor authentication, which, we live in this world of ultra security. But what happens is we have worked with Salesforce. We have worked with Dynamics. We have worked with Zendesk, with Marketo, etc., to go off and allow you to get predefined, pre-configured content. It's curated. Imagine there are experts, Salesforce experts, who will build dashboards and reports that give you immediate value by you just typing in your credentials for Salesforce. So in this case, I can either be a sales manager, which I can be, or a sales representative. Depending on what role I play, I can go and connect to Salesforce, and I say connect. And as it connects, what you'll notice, it's saying importing data on top, right? Literally, it is going from our cloud to the Salesforce cloud. And it's connecting, and it's pulling back reports and dashboards and all kinds of other artifacts in to create an out-of-the-box solution that you can start seeing immediately and get value. And in fact, what you'll see is the little icon that's showing up. I go click on that, and what you see is this dashboard that is now being created, and now it's being populated by data from Salesforce, and it connects up there. And it takes, and there you go, right? Just like that, it went from our cloud, went to Salesforce, used the credentials you provided, and in literally a few seconds, I have a full-blown solution with my Salesforce data, and all I had to do was to provide my credentials, right? As simple as that. Not only can I do that, not only do I get this thing, but it's a fully interactive solution. I can go and look at things like, I can look at the report that was built by me by a Salesforce professional, someone who knew more than I did. And I can start examining various kinds of things. For example, I can see that Patrick, whose account it is, has way more opportunities than I do, and now you know why. It's because it's account. And you can see where the opportunities are. Out of the box, I can start asking it questions. For example, I can go in, I can say things such as, opportunities by industry, right? And immediately you can see this is this natural language feature that knows if I ask a certain question, it adjusts and shows the right graph. And we happen to be in Chicago, so I can say in Chicago, and I can see this. And it's kind of funny. It always strikes me, if you look at the things in Chicago that I've got are value-added reseller. I'm not entirely sure what that means in Chicago, but I think it's a code name for something that I don't quite sure. And those value-added resellers seem to have lots of bikes. So I'm not entirely sure what the story is. But the point being, very quickly I can do this. And once I do it, I can go pin it back to the dashboard, and I can go and customize the default dashboard that I got from Salesforce, and I can work with it. I can go and move things around. If I don't like this, I can say, okay, I want this here instead of there. I can say, maybe the new pin that I did, this tile, I want it here. I can do that, and I can go and resize things, et cetera, et cetera. I get it. It's a fully customizable, personalized dashboard that I've got. And literally, from the moment I go in, put in my email address, get a Power BI account provisioned for me, to going in to Power BI, connecting on this get data location, and connecting to Salesforce, in a few minutes, I have a complete solution. A dashboard, reports, natural language support, exploration, all built in. And as a business user, as somebody who is not using Power Pivot or Power View or any of those things, as a business user, I was able to go and do this on my own, fully empowered on my own, without requiring anybody's support. Now, obviously, when I had an analyst such as Sanjay come in and build something nice in using the analyst tools and publishing it, I took advantage of it, and I got that content, I could use it. And I also can do things like this. If you go in and see this guy here, SQL Server Analysis Services, if I click on that, what you see here, depending on the connection working or not, is this is internal to Microsoft, and so it's taking a while to populate. But there are literally tens, if not hundreds of servers that people inside Microsoft, in all kinds of locations you can see, have stood up these servers. People have gone in, and departments, IT groups, we're a big company. Microsoft's a huge company. But people have stood up these servers, and these servers are connected to Power BI. And it's possible to go just click on one of these guys and start to use those servers to create reports and dashboards, and the data comes from on-premises, is pulled into the cloud, and it just renders and works very, very easily. So again, very quickly, as a business user, go in, connect to all kinds of sources, take advantage of support from analysts, take advantage of support from IT professionals, pull it together to have a really complete end-to-end BI solution that just works for the business. All right? So with that, I'm going to switch back to my slides again. Number 5, I'm told. Never forget that. Now, a few more important things here. What I showed you connecting to Salesforce, and I talked about some other things out there. We have an amazing partner ecosystem that's working to make Power BI out of the box valuable. You know, today, if you look at the line, you know, above the little graphic, already in the service, right this minute, if you sign up, you will get access to predefined, curated, you know, build solutions out of the box immediately for Salesforce, for Sendris, for Zendesk, for Marketo, for Dynamics Marketing, for Dynamics CRM, Google Analytics, one of the lifeblood of many businesses, GitHub, Visual Studio Online. These are available right now. And in the coming days and weeks and months, we have already signed agreements with various other providers to start having out-of-the-box solutions. Adobe Analytics, they announced it actually in a big event in the UK recently. Intuit, MailChimp, Zora, Twilio, Sumo Logic. I mean, you name it. Every major SaaS provider has lined up support for Power BI, and this list is just going to go bigger and bigger and bigger. And so if you happen to run a business that depends on these SaaS services, in minutes, you can go connect up to your favorite SaaS source and have a productive system very, very, very quickly. And that is really the power of a SaaS service working with other SaaS services and really combining it together for this disruptive force that we talked about before. Okay? Now, so stay tuned. And the other kinds of connectivity things we'll talk about as well that will be coming out. But this is just a quick view of that. The other thing to talk about, given that Power BI is an end-to-end story, it also includes a mobility story. We already have today available for you apps in the iOS app stores, iPhone and iPad, that connect to the cloud service immediately. You can do that. Starting from May 7th, you'll be able to download from the Windows Store a Power BI app. And so that's in a couple of days, you'll have it fully available. It's special. It works better on Windows than anywhere else. So look forward to that. You should give it a try. And that's really, really something that gives you the full mobile solution. And Android will be following very soon as well. So we'll have a full stack, if you will, of mobility solutions with Power BI in the cloud. So, with all this said, the other really important thing to remember, and I think we mentioned it a couple of times, especially in the context of the Twitter solution, is that the Microsoft BI solution, things that we do on premises or in the cloud, sit on top of a much larger much larger data platform. I think some of you may have been to other sessions that talk about the data platform. It's a rich, rich platform. This platform consists of data storage, relational databases, big data, data lakes, something that almost nobody else can do. We literally provide this notion of infinite storage, if you will, if you're on the cloud or on premises, you can set up your own scaled out solutions, as you will. On top of that, we have the ability to transform the data, change it, ETL, manage it, metadata management, to streaming solutions that we talked about, machine learning, sophisticated machine learning solutions, and all of these things then land inside our visualization and reporting and dashboards in Power BI. Now, the best way to see this and understand what this means is to see it in action. So we'll do one more final demo. Patrick Baumgartner here, who came before and typed his credentials in and we saw had more sales leads than me, is going to walk up and show us an end-to-end story of how all these different pieces fit in. Now he's going to switch over and make sure he's got the right thing. Now remember, Patrick, you've got to go and change number 8.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? It's my only goal I've got in life is to tell people what to do. I'm a manager type, so I love telling people what to do. Patrick, what's going on? You're taking too much time.
So when we do a lot of demos, so we get, I think Sanjay, I think you're in all the windows. I was hoping.
Okay, so he's going to close. He's okay. He can take care of it, I suppose. Can you or not? Need some help?
Well, I can show. I wanted to show yours because you had the howold.net thing.
Okay.
That's fine. We'll do it off of this.
Number 8.
Number 8?
Number 8. That comes after 7.
So what happens when you're the last demo of the day? Okay. This is not the right simulation.
Okay.
Let's get this going.
This is real stuff. Hang on. Sometimes it happens when you go off and start playing with live demos, you get these kinds of strange things.
This is 8. Did you say to do it on 7?
So we'll go maybe switch a machine. Should I do that with the wrong machine running?
We can talk for 1 minute and we'll be back.
Okay. So Sanjay thinks he's going to go somewhere and come back. I don't know where he wants to go.
We'll just talk.
We'll
just talk to it, man.
So are you going to go and switch over and show us something, or are we going to go
we'll
and...
talk to it. It's fine. We want to leave time for questions, too. Sanjay, don't worry about it. We'll get it. Okay, so what... we actually... One thing we wanted to show... so how many people saw it build or on USA Today, the howold.net app that we released? Did anybody see that? All right. So it's in Kamal's account, and we somehow got accounts.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
That's what we're about. But... when we talk about exciting things happening in the world of SaaS in BI, there's actually exciting things happening in terms of cloud and all data SaaS services, and really this transformational shift around what we can do with data. And I don't think this is moving because it's not that time of day in Seattle, so I think we'll just have to talk to it. But and so we did this. We got approached to do a project in combination with Azure Stream Analytics and the Azure Machine Learning team. And they had this crazy idea where they wanted to do, like in 2 weeks, hey, we have this MSR tech that can recognize faces. Can we train a model, throw it up on stage at Build, and just have everybody at Build start uploading photos? And it was sort of like, yeah, what could go wrong, right? Let's just give this a try. And so we went and did that. And then my favorite reaction to that whole story was everybody was saying, they're stealing the pictures. They're keeping your pictures because we didn't have a disclaimer about the pictures. And of course, we weren't doing anything with your photos. This was like a handful of 7 guys training a Azure machine analytics model in a week. And the thing blew up. It went viral, right? It was just this fantastic moment for us. And what it was really a combination of is how quick we could set up an Azure machine learning model, pipe the data into Stream Analytics, and then output that data to Power BI. And what we see here is something we've done with a similar model. And this is supposed to be updating in real time off of 520 bridge traffic. We have a little simulation that we kind of got messed up on the machine, so we're not going to belabor the point. But we've done a couple other examples of this in addition to the how old are you. And so if you're familiar with Redmond in the Seattle area, we have a toll bridge between Seattle, where a lot of Microsoft employees live, and the Redmond campus. And there's another bridge for I-90. And the toll rate is variable. And so again, we were looking for other things we could do very quickly to show the power of our machine learning technology with Power BI. And so we took several months of data from the bridge and said, hey, if we look at our own optimization of the toll rates, what happens, right? And of course, the feedback we got was, you don't have infinite cars, this isn't going to work, you know, the machine model is not, learning model is not sophisticated enough. Oh, can we switch to this one?
Yeah.
It was on 7, not 8.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So actually what we're seeing now is, now the other one was paused, so it was the end of the day. So we see the data moving now, which is a little easier to show. And that's the morning so it's like 8 a.m., I would think, almost 8 a.m. So you see the amount of cars coming across the bridge is going up, and the red line you see in that left tile is going down, because the speed is starting to go down as more cars hit the bridge.
So by doing this, basically this is a real-time, we have a bridge as a toll on it, and there are sensors all over the place. Every time a car crosses the bridge, the sensor records who it is. Actually, it records things like color, their license plate, how much they paid, and all that stuff is showing up in real time. You can see up there the number, the 48.5, so the number is changing, the graph is moving, and this is happening in real time. The 12.7 became a 48.59. We are capturing this in real time from real sensors on a real sort of highway in Seattle. And this data is coming in. And we're seeing things such as the speed of the cars and the number of cars. And obviously, the more the cars, the less their speed. And that's what Patrick was talking about, right?
That's fantastic. And so what we did is we took all of this data we have, this historical data, and we ran it through a set of Azure machine learning models. So we tried it with a decision forest. We tried it with a linear regression tool. And see which one came to coalesce to a solution more quickly. And as it turns out, when we looked at this large historical set of data and then look it against the real-time data, we can make predictions about what an optimal toll rate would be for the bridge. And it turns out, very interestingly, despite the fact that we don't have infinite cars, there is, because there's two bridges, according to this model, there's actually there's more demand than is being serviced with the bridge if we lower toll rates. So during the middle of the day, if they lowered toll rates, they would potentially shift traffic from I-90 bridge to the 520 bridge in our world and make more revenue, or I guess would service more cars if we look at it, depending on if you're following on the political discussion at the beginning.
Why me? They look like some,
But again, I think the takeaway to give you guys is that with both of these projects, what we were doing is really leveraging an end-to-end stack, where we've made it very easy to ingest data. So we can pull data from whether it's an IoT scenario from sensors on a bridge, whether it's from a website where people are uploading photos, and now that we have the right account logged in here, we'll switch.
And so in this case, the machine learning algorithm literally optimized revenue. And what you saw before was, based upon traffic, how much money should we charge? That's a good commercial venture to do.
So this is the real-time dashboard we have for that how old am I app. And we can see it's like spiking up in the morning again and still running. And with all of these scenarios, in this one, again, we're running this through a Azure machine learning model, putting it through our Stream Analytics tool, which has a built-in facility to output it to a Power BI dashboard. I think that's the takeaway here. And there's a session later in the week about the dev APIs provided in Power BI. There's a session on Azure Stream Analytics where they'll look at some sensor data, doing the same thing to Power BI. But again, if we left you with a takeaway here, it's that in this new way we're thinking about Power BI as a SaaS service. Not only is a SaaS service that makes it incredibly easy for business users to ingest data from a service, it's also a great way to onboard data as a platform itself for visualizing data. So thank you.
Thanks, Patrick. All right, so you saw this, all kinds of stuff thrown in. We had the Power BI, you saw the service with the Twitter thing. You saw how to get Data Zen going. We've talked about on-premises servers, etc. So it's easy to get started. Give it a shot. Go to powerbi.com. You can go sign up. You can download the designer. If you want to use Data Zen, go to your favorite app store, download Data Zen. All this is available right now. You can do it. So please go, give it a shot right now, and see what you find. And you don't need any great, MSIs to run. There's nothing to install. It all just works immediately. So give it a shot and try it out. If you want to learn a few more things about what we're doing, we have some more sessions that are taking place. I'm going to skip this slide across that I've got. And these sessions are listed here. So please give it a shot. There's a hands-on lab. Go attend those sessions. Thank you very much. I think we've got maybe 4 or 5 minutes for questions. And so this is the end of my presentation. I'm happy to take a few minutes of questions. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. One question there. Give the mic if you want, or just speak up or whatever. Yeah. Can you come to the mic? I can't hear you.
The mic's over here. If you get a dashboard built and somebody adds a new element to add to that, is that there for all users or only that single user?
Yes, the question is if I have a dashboard and I add some information to it, is it for me or is it for other users? The dashboard you build is a personal dashboard. Once you can share it to other people, then it becomes shareable by everybody else. It's an act you do specifically yourself to go and share it. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hi. Is there a good way to print it out like a PDF or perhaps just print it out, these Power BI dashboards?
Repeat, I didn't understand this.
Is there a good way to make it these Power BI dashboards as a PDF or to print it out?
Yeah, so we have enabled emailing them out. It's the easiest thing to do is bitmaps and get it out there.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We have a lot of data inside our company, and right now I'm using Excel to build a dashboard. But can I download Power BI Designer and then make a dashboard, and can I upload to a SharePoint site?
Yeah, so you can use Excel actually if you want to. Excel works beautifully with Power BI, and I should have re-emphasized that. You can take your Excel workbooks and very soon just upload them to Power BI. You can't do it right now, this minute, but very soon you can do that. And then it'll run in Excel services in full fidelity in the browser. And anything you build will just work completely as it is.
Thank you.
Thank you. When is it available? By summer. So I can't commit to it firm, but it's very soon. This summer? Yeah, this summer. No, not 2018. Yeah.
I think it's already summer.
You know, things are moving pretty quickly. It's not, Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi. So I just want to know if currently you have to share Power BI to other users. So if you have like 10 of the reports, then you have to share it 10 times. Is there any way that we can share it like in a team site?
So the question was, today in Power BI, the service, you can share, but you share it with individual users, A, B, C, D. And the question is, do you have a concept of a team site or a group or something like that? And the answer is yes, that is coming again very, very, very soon. And we'll just leverage the groups concept that we get in Office. Thank you. Go ahead.
So with DataZen Designer is available in Windows 8 and app. How about Windows 7 users?
Stay tuned. We're working on it, I think. It's a new company, I don't know enough, but they're working on it, I know. So, yeah. Okay, so I'm told to take the Q&A outside. One last question, and then we'll stop.
Sure. Enterprise database inside the on-prem. How do you connect? Because it will be impossible to pick up enterprise database of few years of data to ship it out to the Azure.
Understood.
And also the security concerns. So, what's your suggestion?
So 2 questions, security and on-premises visualization. Security actually can be done quite well with analysis services, row-level security. You can implement that and control it. For the on-premise visualization, we have obviously using SharePoint, what we have today, but we also recommend DataZen is a fully on-premise solution, gives you visualizations that you can go leverage and work with.
DataZen is as good as your Power BI or the same?
It's a complementary thing, very similar, so you can go use these things. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. I think we're done. Bye-bye.